The company cafeteria got a new chef, and my wife, Candy, had been complaining that the food wasn't very good lately. Feeling bad for her, I spent all morning on her birthday, carefully preparing a special lunch for her. Candy was so happy eating it that she couldn't help but give me a kiss on the cheek. But a new intern I didn't recognize happened to walk in on us. He said, "Sorry to bother you," but the way he looked at me was strange. I didn't think much of it at the time. As it turns out, the new intern immediately went and put me on blast online. What a shameless creep. His own wife is pregnant, and he's out here hitting on my wife at her job. His wife's been pregnant for months and won't let him go to work. He must be going stir crazy at home to be this desperate. Is anyone married to this sunny guy in the picture? Your husband is cheating on you. You know that? You better come get your man. I looked at a personal photo of me they had dug up from somewhere, now plastered with the label scumbag. A wry smile touched my lips as I dialed my wife's number. "So, I hear you have an intern for a husband? Candy, you're fired." Candy picked up on the first ring. She sounded busy, and I could hear the sharp clicking of a keyboard in the background. "Sonny, what's wrong?" I didn't say anything, my eyes still scanning the intern, Leo Miller's Facebook page. If the finance department hadn't just sent me a link to the kid's social media, I would have never known someone like this even existed around me. Every line of his Facebook posts reeked of materialistic arrogance. His bio even said his goal was to marry a rich woman for an easy life. It wasn't until Candy grew anxious, asking me again and again what was wrong, that I finally spoke. "That intern, Leo Miller, the one who walked in on us in your office this afternoon. I hear you the one who hired him?" I didn't mention the photo directly, instead sending her a screenshot of Leo's Facebook post. "He walked into your office without knocking, and before the day was even over, he was blasting me online, claiming I was hitting on you." There was a pause on the other end of the line. Candy's voice grew heavy, laced with suppressed fury. "Sonny, don't you worry. I'll take care of this right now." "And how are you going to do that?" I chuckled softly, my hand drifting over to a photo of Candy showing off her baby bump. Just this morning before I left, she was telling me how the little one was kicking again. And just because she was 5 or 6 months pregnant, I had made some changes. I took paternity leave to stay home and take care of her, understanding how difficult it was for her to get around. I told her to stop going into the office and just rest at home. But she insisted there were urgent matters that required her to be at the company these days. All I wanted was to make her a special meal for her birthday. And this is the kind of gossip it stirred up. "He also called you his wife. I'm very interested to hear how you're going to explain that." I heard something slam down on a desk. Kenny took a deep breath. "Sonny, he's just a young kid who doesn't know any better. He messed up once before, and I thought I taught him a lesson. I can't believe this is happening again. Don't worry, if he can't fix this properly, I'll have him packing his things and out the door immediately." Kenny promised me emphatically. A small smile played on my lips. After all this, Candy still wanted to keep that intern around? I heard her let out a soft gasp, probably from the baby kicking. "Candy, I don't care that he's spreading rumors about me, but he called the child in your womb a bastard. You know the one thing I can't stand is seeing you get hurt, and I will absolutely not let our child be subjected to baseless insults." My voice turned cold as I spoke. I heard her shoot up from her chair, its legs scraping harshly against the floor. "Sonny, please don't be angry. It's not worth getting so upset. Where are you? Do you want me to come be with you?" Throughout our marriage, Candy had always valued the life I gave her, always taking a humble posture with me. Her pregnancy hadn't changed that. "No," I cut her off coldly. "He's a new intern. Young people make mistakes. You just need to make him understand that you are my wife, and you're not someone he can just disrespect." Candy agreed without a moment's hesitation. "Okay, Sonny, I will not let anyone who bullies you and our child get away with it. I'm telling finance to process his final paycheck right now. That intern is gone. Just having him leave isn't enough." I glanced at the wedding photo on our wall. "Candy, I want you to handle this cleanly. Make that intern post a public retraction and a full apology to me online, and then fire him. I don't want anything like this to ever happen again." Candy swore up and down that she would take care of everything. Half an hour later, I got a call from Leo Miller. "Sonny, are you out of your damn mind? You disgusting creep, you shameless bastard. You're trying to get my wife to fire me, just because you've got a little family money. Don't think I don't know who you are. My wife might work for your family's company, but she's not your slave. If you keep pressuring her, I'll make sure you get dragged by the entire internet. Putting you on blast online was just a small lesson. Next time, you better watch out for that bastard in your wife's belly. I waited for him to finish his tirade before speaking coldly. Did you know that most phones can record calls? Leo, I was willing to let it slide because you're just an intern, but things are different now. You've slandered me and my unborn child for no reason. I have every right to have my lawyer pursue legal action against you. Leo wasn't scared in the least. Instead, his tone turned mocking. Oh, I'm so scared. You old guys are so full of yourselves. My wife already told me she'd protect me no matter what. As for you, just wait for the internet to tear you apart. After I hung up, I could feel my chest rising and falling. It had been years since I'd encountered such a bizarre person. I was about to call Candy to ask for an update when I saw Leo blowing up the company group chat with a series of messages. In the work group chat, Leo posted one long-winded message after another. He explained that the online drama was all a big misunderstanding. He claimed he had just broken up with his girlfriend, who had been stolen away by another man, which is why he went on that rant online. As for that photo of you, Sonny, I had no idea it was actually you. I thought it was just some random picture I downloaded from the internet. I'm very sorry for the trouble this has caused you. Reading on, Leo's apology seemed quite sincere. It was jarring. I couldn't reconcile this version of him with the man who had been screaming at me on the phone just moments before. With one casual explanation, he had completely extricated himself from the situation. I took a deep breath. Whatever. I wasn't going to hold a grudge against some kid. I decided to just treat it as a minor hiccup. The next day, however, I remembered I'd left my watch in Candy's office. I had my driver take me to the building to pick it up, but when I got there, I discovered my fingerprint and facial scan had been removed from the security system. It was completely absurd. I couldn't even get into my own company. I immediately pulled out my phone and called Candy. What's going on? Did you change the security access? Candy didn't answer. Instead, I heard a rustling sound through the phone. It was followed by a woman's soft, suppressed moan. It wasn't until Candy let out a long sigh that she finally picked up, sounding flustered. Sonny, what did you just say? I was busy. I didn't hear you. But that strange noise had already set off alarm bells in my head. A chill ran through my entire body. I knew that sound Candy had just made all too well. It was the sound she made when she was aroused. What are you doing? My voice was ice cold. Who is with you right now? Before Candy could answer, I suddenly remembered something and immediately opened the security camera app on my phone. In the next second, my world came crashing down. Just as I suspected, in her office, all the blinds were drawn. In that enclosed space, Candy was leaning back in her office chair while a young man massaged her shoulders. I recognized him. It was Leo, the intern who had been yelling at me yesterday. My fists clenched and a hot pressure built behind my eyes. Candy had lied to me. No wonder she was so ruthless in the business world, yet so forgiving toward an insignificant intern time and time again. They had been having an affair all along. Candy stammered out an explanation. It's nothing, Sonny. You must have misheard. I've been sitting for too long, so I just asked Leo to give me a quick shoulder rub. Was that really all he was doing? Just a shoulder rub? On the camera feed, I watched Candy guiltily wave Leo away, and he reluctantly left her office. Really, it was nothing else. If I had time for that, I'd just go to a real spa, wouldn't I? She tried to lighten the mood with a joke. So, Sonny, why'd you call? Is something wrong? Do you need me to come home? I stared silently at the image of Candy on my screen. She was still the person I knew, but I had no idea when she had become so rotten. The way she had just lied to me, so casually, so naturally. And every time before, I had believed her. I had no idea how many times she had already deceived me. I took a deep breath, trying to calm myself. Why was my security access to the building revoked? I suddenly recalled what my friend told me at a get-together a few days ago. Everyone's wary of gold diggers these days, man. You should be careful with yours. We all know Candy treats you well. She's completely devoted and spoils you rotten. But you can't ignore a woman's vanity and ambition, especially after she found out you're from an extremely wealthy family. No woman wants to feel like she's living in her husband's shadow. And now she's pregnant and has you on paternity leave with her. You better watch out. She might be trying to push you out. I used to think my friend were just being paranoid. But thinking about it now, it was chilling. If she wasn't trying to seize control, why would she, at 6 months pregnant, still be working so hard at the office? If it wasn't out of guilt or some other scheme, why would Candy deliberately delete my security access? Candy sounded stunned. What? How is that possible? I absolutely did not do that. They probably deleted it by accident. Give me half an hour. I'll figure it out and have the staff restore it immediately. I opened my mouth to say something else, but all that came out was a quiet okay. Then I hung up. Soon enough, Candy called back with a seemingly perfect explanation. Sonny, I looked into it. Yesterday, while updating the attendance records, an employee noticed you hadn't been in because of your paternity leave, so they took it upon themselves to remove your access. I gave them a piece of my mind and had it restored. You can come to the office whenever you want, just like before. She said it so matter-of-factly, as if the company had slowly but surely become hers. But she seemed to forget that I am the legal owner of this company. I am the one who actually holds the power. If I hadn't given her this company to run, Candy could have struggled for a decade and never achieved what she has today. Sir, where to? The taxi driver asked for the third time as I sat there, lost in thought. I shook my head and handed the driver a $100 bill. Nowhere. Just wait here. I looked up at the office building in the distance. For the rest of the afternoon, I sat anxiously in that taxi, my eyes fixed on the entrance of the building. And sure enough, I saw Candy walk out, pregnant belly and all, arm in arm with Leo. My breath hitched in my throat, just as I thought. After that flimsy apology, Candy never gave him any more trouble. She never even mentioned firing him. At the time, I couldn't understand why she would be so lenient with an intern. Now the answer was staring me right in the face. I watched as Candy stopped, stood on her toes, and planted a kiss on Leo's cheek. Go on back to the apartment and wait for me. I'll come find you tonight after I'm done. But I don't want to, he whined. Leo pouted. Is that old man bothering you again? Is he using his position as president to threaten you, to make you sleep with him? Candy, you might be scared of him, but I'm not. I'll just report him and let his wife know what a piece of trash he is. That's enough, Leo. Don't cause any more trouble for me, Candy said, but her tone was incredibly gentle. She sounded like she was soothing a lover. Sonny's family is very powerful. Not even his parents can control him. I promise you, just give me 2 years to secure control of the company, and then I'll cut ties with him for good. Then our family of 3 can finally be together. I almost laughed out of pure rage. I instinctively reached for a cigarette, only to remember I'd thrown them all out months ago when Candy got pregnant, to be considerate of her. No wonder Leo kept accusing me of hitting on his wife. So that was the reason. She said a family of 3. That meant the child wasn't even mine. They exchanged a few more words before Candy hailed a cab and thoughtfully opened the door for him. Leo, take care of yourself. I'll be back to see you tonight. Leo wrapped his arms around her waist, unwilling to let go, and kissed her on the lips. They held the embrace for a long time before finally separating. Candy, I'll be waiting for you. Take good care of our baby. Once the taxi was gone, Candy straightened her clothes and prepared to head home. But the moment she turned, she saw me. She froze, and all the color drained from her face. Sonny, what are you doing here? I knew she would look horrified. I showed no mercy, shoving my phone with the security footage right in her face. Why don't you explain this? You said it was just a shoulder rub. So why was Leo so close to you in your office? A shoulder rub is one thing, but it looked like a lot more than that. My expression was dripping with sarcasm. The color drained from Candy's face. Her hand, holding my phone, was trembling. When did you put a camera in my office? Have you been spying on me? I sneered. Weren't you the one who installed it to prove your loyalty to me? Candy's eyes shifted, her face turning pale. She must have remembered. 3 years ago, when I put her in charge of the company, she had promised me, I'll always just be your loyal employee, honey. But you're not just an employee anymore. You have your own private office. Who knows what young guys might try to make a move on you? Candy had smiled and hugged me from behind. It doesn't matter if I have a private office. You can still see me anytime you want, even from home. She was the one who bought and installed the camera. She was the one who downloaded the app to my phone so I could watch her whenever I wanted. But in the 3 years since, I had never once used it. Even she had forgotten it was there. Candy, listen to me. I can explain. I turned to leave, but she ran after me, grabbing my arm. It's true that Leo was giving me a massage in the office today. I didn't tell you because I was afraid you'd get the wrong idea. You know, a man and a woman alone together. He didn't mean anything by it. He was just scared I was going to fire him after all the drama yesterday. Leo's just a recent graduate, a young kid who doesn't know any better and makes mistakes. I already promised him I wouldn't fire him, and I promise this won't happen again. I stared into Candy's evasive eyes and found the situation laughable. Do you really think I'm blind? Did you think I didn't just see the two of you hugging and kissing a minute ago? You even said your family of 3 would be reunited soon. That the baby is his. Candy, how much longer were you planning on lying to me? In that instant, Candy's entire composure shattered. She never imagined I would come to her office building to watch her. She never imagined that a small, jealous outburst from Leo would end up exposing the secret she had been hiding. Her face was as white as a sheet. Sonny, please let me explain, it's not what it looks like. Candy, let's get a divorce. As for the company, start the handover process immediately. I'll give you 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you'll leave with nothing. I said it all calmly, then got in my car and drove away. I could hear Candy screaming behind me, even saw her, pregnant belly and all, clumsily trying to kneel on the pavement. The roar of the engine drowned out her words. Not that I wanted to hear them anyway. That night, I waited until 9:30, but Candy never came home. I stared at the large wedding portrait on the wall. I used to look at it and feel so happy. I thought I had found a real treasure in a woman as capable and ambitious as Candy. Now, it just felt like a bitter irony. Candy had told me she was busy with a major project, often working late, and that I shouldn't wait up for her. I had happily believed she was working hard for our future family of 3. I never imagined working late meant staying at a male subordinate's apartment. It turned out, from the very beginning, I was just a stepping stone for her. She preferred younger guys, even promising one that she would be with him once she secured control of the company in a couple of years. She was even carrying another man's child. I grabbed the ashtray from the table and hurled it at our wedding portrait. With a loud crash, the glass shattered, and the photo split into pieces. Just then, there was a knock at the door. Hello, are you Sonny Morgan? We're the police. Someone has filed a complaint against you for threats and extortion. We need you to come with us. The moment I opened the door, I saw a flicker of surprise in the officer's eyes. They probably didn't expect the aggressor from the report to be a man who looked so mild-mannered. A younger officer next to him couldn't help but speak up. Captain, it doesn't seem like him. He looks pretty respectable. How could he be threatening or extorting anyone? Besides, I ran a check before we came. Mr. Morgan is very well off. He doesn't seem like someone who needs the money. The lead officer, who was studying me, also seemed skeptical. Still, he showed me his badge. Sorry, sir, a report was filed, and we have to follow procedure. We need you to come with us. If there's nothing to it, we'll bring you right back. I nodded. It's no problem. I wasn't doing anything anyway. I might as well go with them and see who was so determined to cause trouble for me. It wasn't hard to guess who it was. It was either Leo or Candy. As I walked to the police station, many people on the street recognized me and shot me dirty looks. A few even threw rotten eggs and vegetables at me. Isn't that the desperate scumbag from online? He has a wife, and he's still trying to hit on other women? What a creep. Guys like him are a disgrace. He gives all men a bad name. I looked over and saw that many of them were longtime employees from my company. They had all seen me at the office before. While they didn't know my true role, they all knew I was Candy's husband. They used to be so respectful to my face. I never thought they'd all turn on me like this. I almost had to admire Leo's ability to turn people against me so effectively. Officers, you're finally back. That's the scumbag. As we entered the station, Leo shot to his feet, pointing at me and shouting. That's him. He's married, and he won't stop harassing my wife. His own wife is pregnant, and he's at the office hitting on mine. His wife's been pregnant for months and won't let him work, so he must be going stir-crazy at home to be this desperate. I just can't take it anymore. How can someone be such a lowlife? The officers looked confused, and it took some careful questioning for them to understand what Leo was trying to say. So you're saying, Mr. Morgan is the husband of your wife's friend, but he has a thing for your wife, and has been pressuring her. And who is your wife? Leo proudly pulled out a photo of himself with someone. My wife is the president of Apex Corporation, Candy Morgan. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Leo immediately flew into a rage, glaring at me with disgust. What are you laughing at? I've seen stupid people before, but you take the cake. He made this huge scene and dragged it all the way to the police station without doing a shred of research beforehand. Did you even bother to look up who the legal owner of Apex Corporation is? Of course I did, Leo said, puffing out his chest confidently. It's you, and that's exactly why you have the power to threaten my wife. I couldn't help but shake my head. I couldn't listen to any more of this. You say Candy is your wife. Do you have any proof? I let out a cold laugh and pulled up a photo from my phone. You should take a good look at this before you keep talking. And stop calling her your wife. The photo was of my marriage certificate with Candy, with our names and the date of our wedding clearly visible. The smile on Leo's face froze. He stared at the picture in disbelief. No, that's impossible. It can't be real. Sonny, everyone knows how powerful your family is. This is obviously photoshopped. If Candy was really your wife, why would she lie and tell me you were her friend's husband? I nodded as if deep in thought. So that's how it is. The police officers and onlookers had the expressions of people enjoying juicy gossip. Just as I was about to speak, an agitated voice called out from behind me. Sonny. By the time Candy got the news and rushed to the police station, it was already too late. She stared at me, her face pale, her mouth opening and closing. Sonny, please let me explain. This is all a misunderstanding. Candy, don't be scared. You'll never be threatened by this old man again. Leo rushed forward excitedly to wrap his arms around Candy's waist, but she shoved him violently, sending him sprawling to the floor. Get away from me. Do you have any idea what you've done? You've ruined me, do you understand? Candy's eyes were bloodshot as she kicked him hard. Leo stared up at her, his face a mask of pain and disbelief. Candy, why are you hitting me? You're the one who told me. You said you were being threatened by Sonny, that you had no choice but to play along with him. Shut up. Fearing what other secrets he might spill, Candy slapped him hard across the face. Leo clutched his cheek, looking completely bewildered. Candy, you witch. You hit me? How could you hit me? You were the one who told me you'd protect me forever. You said you wanted to marry me. Have you forgotten all that? Or are you just a social climber who would even abandon me to keep your title as president? Stop talking. Just shut your mouth. Seeing things spiral out of control, Candy looked like she was about to have a breakdown. She came over to me, begging pathetically, and then dropped to her knees. Sonny, please don't listen to Leo's nonsense. Don't you remember? He's the one who was trying to seduce me. He's just saying all this crazy stuff because he's jealous. If you believe him, you're falling right into his trap. I watched Candy calmly. From the very beginning, I had found it strange. All the longtime employees knew I was Candy's husband. Yet this new intern was convinced I was hitting on her and kept calling her his wife. Could they really be involved? After that online post appeared, my suspicions grew, so I hired a private investigator to look into it. And just as I suspected, I was right. Leo genuinely believed I was the husband of one of Candy's friends. She was playing both sides, keeping her husband at home while having an affair on the side. To convince the intern she wasn't promiscuous, she spun a story. She fabricated a sob story about being threatened by an older man. Leo, that old man is my friend husband. He's the one who gave me this job. If I cross him, I'll lose my position as president. This made Leo feel incredibly sorry for her, and after a few gentle advances, he was completely won over. But Candy wasn't willing to give up the resources I provided either. So every time she was with me, she would be sweet and gentle. She would even come home after work and cook my favorite meals like braised short ribs and garlic shrimp, working hard to maintain her image as the perfect wife. She was just too good an actress. She was shrewd, knowing exactly how to use the people around her to her own advantage, even pitting men against each other for her affection. That's why Leo felt so justified in posting my photo online, calling me a scumbag and a creep. The root of this whole malicious online attack was Candy's lies. She wanted to have her cake and eat it too. By what right? Candy, you don't have to explain anything. I already know everything. Seeing my calm tone, a flicker of hope appeared on Candy's face. You believe me, don't you, Sonny? I knew it. After all these years, we have a bond that no one can just come and break. Sonny, let me take you home. Let's just go home, okay? I'll make you your favorite short ribs. She reached for my hand, but I pulled it away coldly. Candy. I took out my phone and sent a voice message to the main company-wide group chat. I have a major announcement to make. Effective today, not only am I firing Candy Morgan, I'm also filing for divorce and ensuring she leaves this marriage with absolutely nothing. The color drained from Candy's face. Sonny, you can't do this. I've run this company for years. It's my life's work. Is this all because of Leo? I told you he was trying to seduce me. Just give me one more chance, and I swear I'll fire him. I calmly pushed her hand away. It's too late. Leo, standing nearby, looked like he was about to explode. I seduced you. Candy, how can you lie like that with a straight face? You're the one who came on to me because you thought I was young and handsome. How can you be so two-faced and shameless? You told me in bed that you couldn't live without me. You said Sonny only cared about the baby now and couldn't satisfy you while you were pregnant. You said he was old and boring and that I was the only one you wanted to marry. Was all of that a lie? Leo looked completely broken. Candy's face was a mask of fury as she stared him down. Say one more word, and I'll make sure you can't find work anywhere in this city. Leo immediately fell silent, his eyes red as he glared at Candy. Then Candy turned back to me, her voice suddenly soft and pleading like a lost puppy. Sonny, I'm still pregnant. You can't divorce me. Our baby will be born in just a few months. Can you really stand to see him suffer? She was so good at manipulation, using the child to get to me again. But I wasn't falling for it. My child? Of course I wouldn't let my child suffer. A flicker of hope lit up in Candy's eyes. She thought I was softening, but then my tone changed as I continued. But you should ask yourself, is that child in your belly really mine? I threw a DNA test report at her. That baby you're carrying is not my child. Candy's face went completely white. Her lips began to tremble. The police told me I was free to go. A car was waiting at the curb, and it honked twice. The window rolled down, revealing Ashley Vance's infuriatingly beautiful face and a rebellious smile. Sonny, see? In times like these, your childhood friend is still the most reliable. Huh. Get in. I'll take you home. I didn't hesitate and got in the car. I could feel Leo's jealous glare on my back. Candy was screaming my name, but I acted as if I couldn't hear a thing. Let's go. Take me to my parents' house. As for the house that had been our marital home, I had no desire to return to it anytime soon. Help me list that house for sale. I called my assistant to make the arrangements. The sound of her gut-wrenching screams faded as we drove away. Ashley and I were silent for the whole ride. She would occasionally glance over at me. So you made up your mind? You're really going through with the divorce? Yeah. In that case, have you considered starting a new marriage with me? You'll need a new wife eventually, and I need to get married for business. We already know everything about each other. I looked at her teasing smile and couldn't help but roll my eyes. You? We'll see. Ashley didn't push it. She just smiled. That's fine. I'll respect whatever you decide. That's what childhood friends are for, right? But seriously, if you need anything, don't hesitate to ask. I turned to look out the window, trying to hide a smile. But a fresh wave of bitterness washed over me. Okay, Ashley was always there for me during my toughest times, quietly offering her support. She always had that rebellious smile on her face and would say things that seemed casual but were meant to comfort. But I knew how genuine she was and that she truly cared for me. I remembered how, before I got married, Ashley had pursued me quite passionately. It was just a shame that back then, I only had eyes for Candy. There was no room for anyone else. Then came the marriage, the years of building a life together, and finally, a child on the way. Through it all, Ashley had always kept a respectful distance. Now that I was in trouble, one call was all it took to bring her to my side in the middle of the night. For that kind of loyalty, I was nothing but grateful. 3 days later, I went to the corporate headquarters. I immediately announced Candy's termination. I appointed a new person to serve as the company's CEO. Ashley Vance, my childhood friend. She might seem like a slacker, but her eye for investments was incredibly sharp. She was more than qualified for the role of CEO. When I showed up at the office and immediately began restructuring the company's leadership, the people who'd been bad-mouthing me were stunned. One by one, they came to my office to apologize. Mr. Morgan, we are so sorry. We were fools to listen to Leo's rumors. Yeah, he made it all sound so detailed and believable, we really thought it was true. I can't believe Leo seemed like such a nice guy, but was actually a monster. We're so sorry, Mr. Morgan. We had no idea you were the real boss here. We were completely blind. I just listened quietly. It's all in the past. There's no need to bring it up again. I decided not to hold a grudge against some of the employees who had insulted me. However, after the divorce was finalized, some employees still had the nerve to keep spreading gossip about me. They even started rumors that I had been cheating with Ashley all along, and that was the real reason for the divorce. That crossed the line. I immediately told HR to fire them. As for Leo, after that day at the police station, he didn't wait for me to fire him. He packed his things, submitted his resignation, and left on his own. Ashley even came to ask me about it specifically. HR wants to know if they should approve Leo's resignation. Approve it, I said, looking out the window. At least he had the sense to quit. It looks better than being fired. I thought back to the police station, how Leo had cried, saying, but Candy told me she loved me. I remember the look on his face when Candy turned on him. He was just another one of her victims. The poor guy. Since that was the case, I didn't want to make things any harder for him. The blinds in my office weren't fully closed, and a sliver of sunlight cut across my desk. I had just signed the last of the personnel changes when there was a knock on the door. It was Lee from marketing. He was one of the guys who used to joke with Leo in the break room about how I was just riding my wife's coattails. He was holding a cup of bubble tea, and his smile looked more painful than a grimace. Mr. Morgan, this is that tea you like with light sugar. I was an idiot before. Leo really had me fooled. I hope you can find it in you to forgive me. I didn't take the tea, just gestured to the chair across from my desk. Sit down. Just as he sat, Johnson from sales squeezed in, clutching a report and speaking earnestly. Mr. Morgan, I was wrong to join in with that online mobbing. If you'll just look at this quarter's performance report. The performance reports go through the proper channels. I cut them off, opening a list I had just compiled. I can overlook the things you all said when you were just following the crowd. But some people are still spreading gossip about the child, even after the divorce, thinking I'm nothing without Candy. Those people are of no use to this company. Lee's face went pale. Johnson lowered his head and said nothing. They both knew exactly who I was talking about. Kevin from administration, Candy's distant cousin. He used to be the most arrogant person in the office, always saying the company would belong to my wife one day. He was the one who said Ashley looked at me funny and that we were definitely having an affair. He even claimed I was divorcing Candy so cruelly because I had found someone new. Thinking about it now still made me laugh. HR has already sent out the notices, I said, leaning back in my chair and gazing out the window. From now on, there will be less office gossip and more actual work done around here. Just then, Ashley knocked and entered. Candy is at the front gate, demanding to see you. Do you want to see her? Her eyes swept over the other two men in the room. Shall I get rid of them for you? Lee and Johnson exchanged a look and wisely got up to leave. Mr. Morgan, we'll see ourselves out. After the door closed, Ashley leaned against my desk, watching me with an amused expression. Candy says she terminated the pregnancy. She wants to start over with you. I smiled and picked up my pen to sign a document. Tell her there are no second chances for what she did. The divorce was finalized. The judge ruled that Candy would leave the marriage with nothing. After 5 years of climbing, she was right back where she started. I doubt Candy could accept that. Overnight, she seemed to have aged 10 years. She knelt and begged me to forgive her. But if every mistake could be so easily forgiven, what would be the point of apologies or of justice? Besides, Candy's betrayal was unforgivable. She had crossed a line from which there was no return. A few more times after that, Candy stubbornly waited for me outside the office building. She finally managed to catch me one day. Sonny, I made a terrible mistake. I was confused. Please, just give me one more chance. You can't be without a woman by your side. Just let me come back, please. I promise I'll never be the CEO again. I'll just stay home and be a housewife. I can give you a whole new family. That won't be necessary. I cut her off. I watched the hopeful light in her eyes slowly die out. I have maids and nannies at home. I don't need a woman who will stab me in the back and lie about me. As for children, I'll have them with my fiancé. Don't come here again. If I find you following me one more time, I will call the police. With those cold words, I got into my car and left. That was the last time I would be coming to this office for a while. Because next month, Ashley and I are going abroad for our wedding and honeymoon. For the rest of my life, I would never have anything to do with Candy Morgan again.